Hi guys, good morning. It's Mark from the RC Car 68 in France, and today we have something I really waited for a long time. Finally an update from the Hobao 10 SC, and we have here the 2.0. It's just not an update, they almost done a new truck. So first I'm gonna drink a good hot coffee because I like that. And back to the truck. So I choose the almost ready to run. I love the original radio system from the RTR. I love the servo from the RTR, but I'm not a big fan from the stock electronic. It is okay. The truck is also made for go on track, so they use a 36 50mm 4000 kV motor. So you will have enough speed in 2S if you have a track which you must run 2S. For the other ones you can run 3S, you have more speed, but it's still a little bit, I don't know how to say, I'm not gonna say empty, but I miss some power. So I prefer to take the almost ready to run and put in a 36 at least 60 can motor around 3.5 to 3,800 kV. A little bit bigger pinion because the bigger motor can take a bigger pinion, and just get the little bit bite. I missed just the bite from the brushless with the original system. It's a 60 AMP-C. What's cool clearly is that it's cheap. This truck is designed for track running for beginner or low budget. If you not want to spend $1,000 for a TEURPI, which you have to buy just the roller, then the tires, then the body, the electronic in there, yeah, that's the point. You pay $1,000. For this one, here in Europe, we pay around 350 for the RTR version and 280 for the almost ready to run. I get the first one when it was released early 2010 around, and I was really happy with the truck himself. Back in that time I bashed the truck. It not was designed to bash for sure, but they hold up pretty well. We had some weak points, and I regret with the time that Hobao not just have done some updates at the truck at least any 3-4 years. And now we almost served 50 years. We're happy to find here the 2.0. For those who follow the channel and the brand Hobao, you know they already had done the 10 TT 2.0. Hobao, back in the time, early 2010, was not really present in USA. You don't know, well, not just less from you knows the brand Hobao, because it was rebranded in USA by the brand Offna. Now you have Hobao USA, which puts Hobao a little bit more in the light, and I'm happy about this because I especially love the Hobao Hyper MTX, the Hobao Hyper 8 SC. I really hope that we're gonna get more back 1/8 scale shortcuts. 110 is okay, but 1/8 is really my favorite size. 1/8, 1/7 is really what I prefer. And Hobao is for the moment one of the only who still produce an 8 SC. We have back in the time the Apache from HPI, was a minion car. Then we had the Rowan, who made, for those who know a little bit from the RC Sports, that Rowan King Motors does many stuff which HPI had done, but when HPI goes down, anytime Rowan made more from that stuff. Looks like the same, but it's not absolutely exactly the same. So we had the awesome TMSO SC8 in 2 different versions. The 1 and the 2 also disappeared, and so I missed something in this segment. The 10SC 2.0 has basically the same stuff as the 10TT 2.0, just a longer wheelbase. We have back the nice looking short course bumper we love. Personally, I really like it. Front, rear. We have some side slides and a roof bar. I'm gonna show you this in a few moments. It is a 4x4. It's the still same old body. I would have preferred something a little bit new, more aggressive, but we not can have anything. It's still cheap as the old one, but it's way, way, way tougher. I know this, I didn't have drive it now, but I have drive the 10TT 2.0 really bad. I put a 4250 60 can motor in there, and we drive in 3 years more than 100 kilometers an hour. We drive it on road, we drive it off road. I send it in the air. I crashed it a few times. The only thing happens to me is that I pop out the front pivot bowl, but after a huge crash about 90 kilometers an hour in a pillar. So I had a video online, you really heard a ding from the steel, from the pillar, and this cracks a little bit my pivot bowl. So I popped it back and steel was able to run 10, 20, 50 times, 10, 50, 20 times, and it's still running. So amazing. I'm really happy with it. I like Hobao because it's an entry level, also the price, and we have a great part support, and the parts are not heavy in price. When you go to the optional parts, they are for sure more costful, but even in still less than many other brands, the stock parts. That is really something I like. And they not just make a longer chassis from the 10TT this time, because the old one was the 10TT stretched to 10SC, and that was it. You just have a longer chassis, 2 longer dog bones, and basta. Now we have something more interesting. We have on this truck a longer chassis, but they make something in the chassis I not was expecting, and I see it only when I have it in my hands. Looks like tiny little stuff, but in the end, because I feel the truck was pretty light, so I go on the scale, and the fact is, with the electronic in the truck, I am at 2.7 kilograms RTR, ready to run with a 2S battery. And this is a standard battery. If you put, you can put a short in there, a lighter battery, so you can go down with the weight. And I run with a little bit bigger motor, I would say. So if you go for, I don't know if you are running a race truck, and for competition in USA, what you can do on your truck. I don't know if you must drive 2S, if you must drive 50 size motor. I also not know what the rules are in Asia, and even not in France, even if I'm French, because I do not race. I never was a racer. I'm a funny guy, a happy guy, and when I drive someone at the hood, the only thing I do is turn back, put him on the wheels, and continue to run. So I understand the guys who love to race, but I'm not the one. So I would say we have the steel, same old body. Sorry, one tires just say goodbye on the truck. Well done, light, and enough tough. For wheel weight, clearly you can cut some stuff out more. The fenders are big because they have done this so you can not, but you're not gonna heat as fast as many other body, the body with the tires when the suspension travels in. Personally, I have bought this baby because I like a little bit old school, and really not a freak from the new version competition race bodies. They really not more looks like anymore as a truck. They are more and more flat, and looks like just an empty bag squeezed on the truck. So this looks great. This looks like a 8SC back in the time, and I love this. So, by the way, this is Delta Plastic with a K, Delta Plastic Point USA. For you, for me it's Point It, because I buy it in Italy, in Europe, and I'm happy to see that more and more brands are more easy to get for the Americans, because you really not know much about all we have here on RCs. We have the same bumper, front and rear. And why did you put the body on if you want to show what's in it? Man. So, the side slides and the roof bar. It's light, it's flexible, but it's tough enough when you have the body on the truck and the roof bar here when you overroll to not squeeze too much the body. The body post looks a little bit tiny. Back in the time we have many issues with this braking here. That's something usual from these body posts who are just drilled around just from one side to the other, because the hole in the middle of the body post is exactly where you're gonna break. We're gonna see if the plastic is more flex. That will happen less. Also, if I'm a better driver than back in the time, should be also not break so fast. We have new rims. Maybe not all of you are gonna like this. I love it. I think it's okay, and maybe tougher also as the old one. The old one looks great, but sometimes we break one of those, and we're gonna see what happens with these ones. We have 12mm hex plastic. Optional, you can get alloy. Personally, I never get any problem with the plastics. Only when I put force in the truck, spikes tires, clearly too far. So, we have this new chassis. Back in the time was 6061 stamped chassis, so it happens that we flexed or that we bent it. Back in the time also, so you can, back in the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, test. Back in the time, we already have from Hobao a 7075 lightweight chassis and also a carbon version chassis. This time you have immediately the 7075, and we have here some holes in there to put just weight away. It's looked like not much, but the chassis, I was expecting this truck to be heavier than the old one. It's not heavier. We have the new arms from the TT 2.0, which you can put the carbon plates in there. Personally, I not put it underneath, I put it over there, because when you drive off-road, you're gonna damage the screws here, and if the carbon plate is in top of it, then gonna happen anything to these carbon plates. We have, because that was the major problem from the old ones, new pin braces, front and rear, 6061 machined aluminum, way tougher than before, and we have no more all this spacer in there. For those from you who have the 10SC1 or the 10TT1 or the Mini ST from Hobao, you know that. When we hit something a little bit harder, we break the A-arms, pop out the pins and lose 1, 2, 3 or 4 spacers. That was a little bit of pain to put all this back or find it on the track. But now it's way better. We also have, I think it was the old one, but look, this is something a little bit different here. You have just a little bit kick up here at the bumper to not hit straightly front the chassis plate. For sure, I would like to have a bumper which is already a skid plate, but in the fact that it's designed for race, you should not need it. Front and rear shock tower also made from better alloy now. Back in time, also when you hit hard, you bend it. That was a big deal, was cheap, and you can even in 2010 already get carbon plates in place from the original ones. We have a top chassis brace made from alloy. Back in the time was one piece plastic and an optional part made from alloy. We have this new style chassis brace. Unlike the on-road version, we not have a carbon top plate, but 2 bars. So you still have a little bit flex on the chassis. In off-road, it's necessary to have some flex on the chassis. If the chassis is too straight, it's okay on carpet, but not off-road. And I'm gonna drive this off-road for sure. I go also on the carpet with it. You have this new battery tray, which you can put a short LiPo battery in front or in rear, or a standard battery from 140 millimeters around. Servo mount is here, receiver box. This was missing at the old one. And because the chassis has another layout, you have here the motor in the back. You have plenty of room to put the ESC here down. Back in the time we had to put the ESC in the front, but the first versions was nitro and brushed. So for sure a brushed ESC was a really small tiny part. Back in the time was also no question from something have to be waterproof. And now we have all those waterproof electronic. A closed box with a rubber part here, so it's not a U-boat for sure, but it's clearly no more problem to run when it's rainy or something. We have the new shocks with the new shock setups and springs. That also was a problem back in the time. The shock springs for the RTR version or electric version, when you have put your electronic in, was down on the ground and you had to buy some optional springs. Now it's way better. We have 600 weight oil in front. Hobao usually use weight, not CST. Here in Europe we usually use CST. So 600 weight is about 780, 800 CST or even more. Not have all in head, that's in mind, not in the head, in mind. The front suspension is soft but firm enough under when you go down to stop the car, and the rear is 500 weight, a little bit lower than the front for sure, because you have the battery in front and the servo and ESC here. Just only the motor is in the end. You get anytime by Hobao the aluminum servo horn. All turnbuckles are counter-strung. You have the sway bars. You have as well as optional sway bars. You can have some aluminum rear hubs. You can get some aluminum front hubs. You can have some carbon parts for this truck. The only thing I was concerned when I get the 10TT 2.0 in my hands is that the splint from the CVD and the dog bones output, not the dog bones, the drive cup outputs from the differential was still as thin as back in the time, but clearly make from way better material. After about 50-20 runs with 2 years, and how I say, I drive it on the road with a more than 100 on the straight line. And when I say drive, I see so much YouTuber just make 3-minute runs, full speed, turn around, a few jump, that was it, your truck is nice. No, I drive it many times, I drive it hard on many surfaces, and my transmission still was clean after 20 runs, even if I had too much power in the truck for what its purpose is. So that's really nice. I'm happy about this. What's also cool is you have mod 1 gear here, and it's a steel gear for the off-road. I especially have buy the good old plastic sport gear because I like it less noisy. For sure this one gonna break when I drive outdoor off-road, but on the carpet it's gonna be nice. and we're gonna really have fun with the electric. Motor mount. Some of you are gonna claim, oh, it's not a quick release. How many times did you have to put the motor out and change the pinion? I do it maybe 1 or 2 times. I put the motor in, try one pinion, find my cool mark for pinion motor KV with the weight from the car for my 3S setup in January, and that's it. Then I drive. It's still easy to get. All you have to do is to take a long screwdriver and go from back here. You easy can get at the screws. If you not can get to it, all you have to do is to put here 2 screws away and lift here a little bit the bumper up if you not have a long enough tools. Major difference with the 10TT 2.0 is also the chassis, for sure the longer brace here, and the really super long front dog bone. I'm not concerned about any vibration because Hobao has knowledge with this. The 8AC also have such a long front dog bone, and we see Hobao has done really big progress with the Extreme VTE 2. Now we're gonna get the VT8. So 10TT 2.0 is already out. Now we have the 10SC 2.0. I really hope soon to get from the VS2 series a VS2 truggy. I really want to have back a 1/8 scale truggy from Hobao. They still do the Hobao Hyper SST, but it's really from the old generation. It's not at the toughness point from the new generation. And I really hope to see soon coming a VS2 truggy. And we have also something other new here. Something I was not know about. The front spindle from the 10SC and 10TT was 11209. If I have correct in mind here for the spare parts reference number. And the 10TT 2.0 has the same, has 11209, but really important, N for new. So when you order it, you have to take care to put the N on your order to get the new one. And this one not have this. He has different. We have beefy. The N version is beefier than the old version. How I say, I was really happy with. But now they put also newer on the SC as on the 10TT. We have here front spindle with an alloy separate part. You can change your Ackerman effect. Here you have 3 holes to change it. And here you also have 3 holes. So you can change your Ackerman effect, and if you want to have straight parallel tires turning or not parallels, and all you want. For sure, at the bumpers, you have at the shock, you have 2 position front, 3 position rear down, and what I really like, this is something I miss on many other tracks, is that we have for sure many points to change the angle from the shocks, but we also have different holes to change the ride height, because changing the fixing point from rear or upper parts bumper in the high is the only way to change the ride height without influence or change anything at the suspension setup. All the rest you do. If you have a truck who is sitting too high, if you here turn in the grub screw, then you have to release the spring to hold on the same suspension setup. If you put shorter springs in there, you have to tighten the screw here to catch up the springs and all that stuff. I miss that. I even miss, I think we should have back in a time when we had many trucks, especially Hobao, Thunder Tiger and Hongnor with 3 rows in a high for change up the ride height from the truck easy. So I'm happy to see this still on the truck. I like to drive it in with a high ground clearance personally and a softer suspension, but many people prefer to do it to have it a little bit more down, so they really can go down for LCG stuff. That's really cool. You not can change the roll center or roll high from the front here, but you can change here the roll center as how high the roll center is here at the shock tower. Here maybe I miss a little bit more for the setup, but the fact that the weight is in the front will be easy for the rear end. With the almost ready to run, you get a 13-tooth pinion. It's also the pinion is on the RTR version, mod 1, but for 3.70mm motor shafts. For all tools like me, we're gonna put a bigger motor in there with a 5mm motor shaft. It's not a problem because it's mod 1, so it's really easy. All buggies, truggies, 1/8 scale has stock mod 1 with a 5mm axle. And most of the time I buy Hobao motor pinion because they are not too high in price, and really they made really good steel for this pinion. And most of the time on 1/8 scale you even get 2 screws, 2 holes for the grub screws, so you can put 2 grub screws on the pinion, so never moved anytime. You get also some wrench with the truck, some spacers to change the setup. You can put more or less angle from the rear. You can change the anti-squat effect, so that means the way the pin from the suspension arm is sitting in. I love to go much, a little bit in, but much anti-squat. I really like this. In the front also, for sure, you can change a little bit more in the front to get more or less kick up. The steering does the rest. For the spoor is clear. So now the only thing I have to do from the chassis is going to be really fast. Glue up the tires, which are really soft, all-terrain tires. For sure, if you're going to run on a carpet, you need something else because maybe you're going to have too much grip. I love this. In my favorite spot to drive is on grass, fresh, dry grass, and there they are really good. They are also good in sand and in mud. Yeah, I drive in mud with the truck. So glue the tire on, put motor in 2 screws, put servo in 5 screws, put my receiver in, make my setup, my ESC setup, and that's it. What's going to be long is the paint job from the body. You get with the RTR version or any transparent body you buy from Hobao the full sticker set with the windows, with the logos. Looks really cool, I like it. And you also have the window masks, so if you not want to put stickers on the windows and let the windows open, you can do it, or with smoke paint or something like you want. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with the stock body, because for sure I have buy the separate body to drive it with this body. Here I maybe gonna do something more realistic, so it means I gonna do all this in black, and I gonna let this part here clear. So like a real truck, we have just here in the back the roll cage effect. I'm gonna let the windows clear and maybe 2 or 3 different colors. On this one, I maybe gonna do a little bit more work on the paint job, so the fenders not gonna look so beefy outside. I don't know. we're gonna see, but no hurry because I'm not gonna drive this one. So I want to know from you guys, what is your experience with Hobao? Since when did you know the brand Hobao? What have you buy from Hobao? Was you happy with? Was you really not happy with? Did you just realize you drive Hobao since a long time because you have Hofner RC car? Take care. Hofner has not just done, I don't know if they still exist, Hofner. They have rebrand also Hongnor, Team C, for sure Hobao and other trucks. I know many from you are used to get to look video from YouTuber go just 10 minutes. You look 10 minutes from fast unboxing, then drive the car 3-4 minutes, and then the feedback after 8 minutes. That's not usually what I do. I make my video channel to take my time to really explain deep in what I have on the bench here, discover it with you. I usually not go on internet and look at the car, how long it is, or bright, what's the weight, what's the setup. No, when I see something I like, I just wait to can buy one, then I buy it, and most of the time it's so that we buy our RC trucks because we love the look they have. Is it so or is it not? Less of us buy the truck because of the mechanical spec and then change everything until it looks like they want. When we see a truck, sometimes it has an ugly body or a strange tire, we say, oh no, that's not my type. So for me it's important that the truck looks great. That's why I don't like the new style race short course bodies and all that stuff. Really like empty pump ships bags. It's strange, but you have to be nice for somebody because many people buy it still. So I lose myself. So I take time to present what I like. I give my first opinion about what I see, what I feel with the truck. Then we're gonna drive it 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 50 times. And then, or if I break something on the way, we go back on the bench, do the mechanical access, and give a feedback about the running sensation and feeling. For sure also in all my drive videos, they usually go as long as the battery hold, or as long as I not have a breakdown with the car because I crashed it. Don't forget, the car has 4 wheels and the designer designed cars to drive on wheels. So anytime your wheels are not on the ground, you do something not usual for the car, and when you crash, it's your bad. So I hope to have many subscribers like me who wants and loves to take time. We love our RC, so why has all to be done in 5, 8, 10 minutes? That's really not my stuff. And how I told before, guys, have you an Hobao? Which Hobao have you? I especially like the VSE2 from the new generation. The VSE2 buggy, I would say, also in the beginning from the video, I hope to see soon coming a trucky from this version. I love the Hobao Extreme VTE2. Maybe I'm gonna take the VT8, a little bit shorter for my racetrack I have here around. But I'm also happy with the 1.7, so did I really need a shorter run? I don't need it, so I must have one. And my favorite, because I'm a monster truck freak, the Hobao Hyper MTX. I also hope to see some updates coming on the MTX. It's already a cool truck, but we need some few adjustments. We need some tougher suspension arms and a little bit changing on the suspension, because we break, sometimes I break some shock pistons. So something has to be changed a little bit with the angle, or higher or lower, or we'll see. Guys, I wish you all a nice week. We are normally in France here, it's Sunday afternoon, evening, and I guess in USA it's 6 or 7 or even 8 hours before. So it's Sunday morning. So have a nice Sunday. I hope you have fine weather and that you're gonna have fun with your RC today, because I know Monday it's working day. Bye guys.